Angela Fazio is an industry powerhouse who has overseen 40,000 homes sold and $9 billion in production. And Kristen Cantrell is one of the nation's most accomplished team leaders, helping thousands of agents build their businesses. They are passionate about educating, encouraging, and empowering moms in real estate. Our next episode starts now.
Hey guys, it's me, Kristen Cantrell.
And this is Angela Fazio. Welcome to Moms in Real Estate. This week's guest is from New York, and her name is Eva Biondolillo.
And you guys, today we're going to be talking about keeping it all together without everything falling apart, which you guys, it's so hard to keep everything together.
I don't think you can.
I know. And she's got a lot going on, you guys. She is not your traditional resale agent. She's not a commercial agent. She is actually a flipper and a wholesaler. She has a daughter who's just over 1. She's got 2 crazy dogs who I definitely want to talk about today. And big news, guys, she's freaking pregnant.
I know. It's awesome.
I know. It's awesome. So Eva, welcome. Get us started. Tell us a little bit more about yourself.
Hey, everybody. Thank you for having me on this show. I listened to every single episode up until today. So you guys are amazing. I just want to start off with saying that I found you guys at a time when I felt alone. And I felt like, how am I a mother, especially of a baby, and able to like build real estate businesses? There's got to be other people out there, and you look for mompreneurs and this and that. You find all these people making craft businesses at home or whatever. And you're like, no, there's got to be other mothers in real estate doing what I'm doing and trying to navigate and the scheduling and everything else that goes into it of taking care of the family, taking care of the business as if it's your family and everybody involved in it. So how I found you is just, I guess, through God of pointing me in the direction, some way, somehow. And thank you for having this, because it's great for people like me that just kind of feel like you're alone in the world. And, there's other people out there like us. So thank you.
Oh my gosh, I got goosebumps.
I know. I just absolutely love that, because you're so not alone. There's so many of us.
Yep.
And
we're everywhere.
And what's so important to us is to make sure that we have a platform where everyone shows up authentic and we all share our messes with each other. And clearly you got that if you've listened to all of our episodes.
Hey, did you read the one about breastfeeding?
Yeah. And I was actually, I'm glad you brought that up, because that was one of my main points is I started this company, Homeowners Resource Group, 3 years ago. I used to work for another company for several years. And as soon as I left, I got engaged, I bought a house and got married and then got pregnant all within a year.
Wow.
We got, we had a COVID wedding. We were supposed to get married upstate. It got canceled. We did it in the backyard. Then I just went and got pregnant after, and then decided to expand the business, hire more people, opened an office this year, had a baby last year. It's just been like every 6 months has been like a new milestone in my life. All the while of breastfeeding, pumping for my child's first 12 months of her life. So this entails, bringing my breast pump everywhere, stopping meetings, halfway through. Hey, I got to go to the bathroom real quick. Thankfully, I found, portable ones that I could just stick in my bra. And sometimes people never even knew I was pumping. But you'd have to be driving on the Cross Island Parkway through, whatever traffic, and just pulling it out and putting the caps on and putting it away and saving it for later. And that was a struggle. And then trying to stock up the freezer, which everybody loves and you feel so proud of. You open up, you see it in there, and you're like,
gold.
Yep. It is.
You feel so proud of yourself.
That was one of my most accomplished times in my life, was filling up my freezer with my breast milk.
Absolutely.
And making sure it was perfectly, the milk was flat and it was stacked. I was like, look what I've done.
I know. And you're just like,
screw anything with work.
But that's what I was saying.
The accomplishment is in the boobs.
But on top of everything else, you're like, I can't believe I can handle all these transactions. And then still my body is allowing me to nourish a new life. My brain is always here, and then my body still does what it needs to do. It's amazing. You don't even have to think about it, but take care of yourself, I guess.
Are definitely amazing. So I know you've mentioned that you do about 5 flips a year. Did you do 5 flips last year with all this stuff going on?
Oh, yeah. I would say last year was very good for us. It was probably my best year in my whole entire life. And then this year with the interest rates going up, it's not, and the appraisal values being inflated, it's not helping me. So like my primary business is short sales. In New York State, it takes 5 to 10 years for the banks to foreclose on these houses because it just, takes that long through the courts. So all throughout the while, these sellers don't realize that even though they've abandoned a property, that they can still sell it. So we contact them, we offer them money, we say, we're going to dispute your debt that you owe, pay everything off. And then when the market is low, it helps us because then we get lower values from the banks. So right now, I'm actually not in a good position because all the appraisal values are coming in inflated from the last few months. So, it's a cycle. It goes up and it goes down. So, but right now it's down a little bit. It's a little slow just because the banks are being more difficult. And then when they're working from home through COVID, they don't have to answer their emails. It was difficult, but I have good negotiators. We got on them and we had a very good year last year. And then you just got to price the flips right. Sometimes if you overprice it or if you put too much money in or whatever, it's a big risk, and you just have to make sure you're hitting it on the right side of the market and that you're not being too greedy in your resale value, which people are, sellers are still expecting that.
Let's back up a little bit. So how did you ever do traditional resale real estate?
Yeah, and I don't really like it too much because I don't like dealing.
Your first year when you closed 40 transactions, that was all
short sales, all short sales. Yeah.
All short sales. Okay.
Yeah. I worked for a company that, bought them and listed them. So whether they were end user deals or investor deals, either just helping the sellers out or buying the houses and flipping them, they paid for me to get my license. And then I went and just started from there. And then I was able to become a broker within a year and a half. And then you have to wait 2 years to actually be a broker, but I had enough transactions under my belt. So I've been a broker, for like 6 years now. I do have a regular real estate brokerage, and I opened up a second one that's going to handle just regular end user short sale listings, but I'm going to have other agents handle it and stuff like that. Cause, I like the distressed market a little bit better. It's a little bit, it's kind of like I don't have to argue with the seller and what the property value is worth. I have to argue with the bank, but at least I can back it up with numbers and appraisals and contractor estimates and like show them proof. Whereas like a seller, it's like, your house is not worth $700,000. I'm sorry, it's worth $6 million. And then do you want me to leave it overpriced on the market for 6 months and then drop it 3 times and then you get underbid? Like, it's a little bit more of like a difficult conversation. I'm sure you guys know when you're trying to deal with sellers directly and have the conversation with them. So I haven't really done too much of that over the years.
What I think is really interesting is how it takes so long in your market to get foreclosed on. Here, it's like a hot minute. So when we were doing short sales, we had literally windows of 60 or 30 days to help these sellers. So
5 to 10 years.
5 to 10 years. That's nuts.
I'm still getting cases from 2008, 2009, because when so many people went into foreclosure after the market crash, the court system got so backed up, they couldn't handle the amount of influx. And then now it's going to happen again. I mean, look at how many people were in forbearance over the last year and a half, 2 years from COVID. And now, okay, pay your mortgage back, pay us back. And then it's like, what? I actually, they were handing out emergency rental assistance money to landlords for, COVID, for, tenants that couldn't pay. I accepted money from one of my tenants that hasn't paid me since March of 2020. The state gave me around $22,000. I got an email last week that I have to pay it back because they never should have given it to me. And the person didn't qualify. And I'm like, you're the one who gave me the money. Now I have to pay it back. So it's like, the governor's up for re-election. So we'll see what happens with that. But it's just this whole COVID thing.
Like, how can they just be like, oh, just kidding, like they weren't qualified? Sounds like that's your problem, not mine at this point.
Exactly.
And then you tell the people that on the other end of the phone, they're like, oh, okay, well, I don't know, I'm just answering the calls. And I'm like, can I speak to somebody that can make a decision?
Everything is such a shit show right now. It really is. My
attorney's like, they're probably sending these out automatically to everybody to see who's dumb enough to pay it back or get scared. And I'm like, I mean, what's the worst that happens if I ignore it? They're going to put a judgment on, but then, I don't know. It's just insanity. This whole COVID thing just spurred so much madness with everything.
It sure did. Let's get back to when you were describing your last year. I feel like we blew through that too fast. It was so much.
Can anyone listening tell she's from New York?
I know, right?
It's not even that bad, my accent. If I was really from Long Island, I'd be talking like this, and that's how most people talk around here. Your husband's
my husband's from Queens.
Yeah. But
so you got married, you moved, you got a new job for all intents and purposes. You got pregnant. And so was that how was that for you? And how did you manage? I have to use the word stress because all of those things come with a measure of stress. What were some of the things that you did to help you stay sane?
Well, I have a very good massage therapist. Yeah. Listening, finding people that are going through the same thing, talking to people. But before I was in real estate, I was a yoga teacher. I did that for several years. So I have kind of like tools under my belt. It's like as if like this whole thing was set up for me the proper way. Like, I didn't know what I was going to do when I graduated college. I became a personal trainer. I focused on my health. I was in great shape. I did Pilates, personal training, Thai, yoga, massage. Like I just got into everything. I had personal clients and all this and all that. And then when I got introduced to real estate and I came on board with that company, I was told, stop tripping over dollars to make quarters, teaching yoga that literally. And so I was like, all right, well, but now at least I use yoga, breathing, meditation when I can. I get Reiki done on myself, and then I get readings and like spiritual readings and stuff like that too, because that helps me to guide and navigate my life. As stupid as it sounds, but kind of sometimes you need a higher power to instruct you as where things are headed and stuff.
All
and
the time.
Yeah. And they say stuff to you that's wow, that's very true. And I didn't see that before. And just having those people in my circle that every 6 weeks I go get Reiki, every 2 weeks I get a massage, I go get yoga.
Wait, what does it mean to get Reiki?
I don't know what that is.
Okay, Reiki. So Reiki is and you guys, I went to Sedona in 2018 also, and Sedona is an amazing place, and I did a yoga retreat there. You guys have to check that out, but it's energy healing and energy therapy. So a Reiki master has attunement, which I actually am attuned as well. But they can share energy through their hands. They can feel, parts of your body that are blocked, like your chakras and stuff like that. So they can help to clear out blockages. They can release patterns that are stuck in your body and everything like that. And, as much as people think that this is craziness, I mean, when you got to feel it for yourself. I mean, I'm sure you can find plenty of people in Arizona that do it. But it's a very good way to just relax, for the most part, sit on the table for 30 to 40 minutes and just feel the warmth of the energy running through your body and stuff, and kind of resets things and clears things out, clears out blockages and stuff. So.
Oh, I know what you're talking about. It's the massage. That's not a massage because they don't touch you.
Yeah. They will place their hands on you gently most of the time, but yes. Yeah. But you still walk out of there.
I don't get it.
Yeah. You still feel good though, once you leave there,
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's cool.
And clear.
And honestly, you surprised me when you said all those things, because I feel like, not that I know you well, but I feel like I'm those, it actually they complement the way that you are. You're very go, 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 go. And then I feel like that kind of stuff I wouldn't assume that you would do that kind of stuff. And then I love that you do, because it does pair so well.
Yeah. I'm not your.
Is it hard for you to meditate?
Yeah. Oh yeah. It's your mind is just going, and it's very hard to just sit there, because the minute you ever just sit and close your eyes and you're like, I have to do that. I have to do that. I have to do that. And all you want to do is pull out your phone and just start emailing and texting. And that's usually what happens after 5 minutes. But, it's a way to kind of reset your mind, clear space, and just reset to think, okay, where do I need to go next? Because if you don't create space and you don't say no to things, then you'll always just be in this wheel of moving forward and losing track of where you are. So if you can consciously stop and pause, then it helps to kind of that voice inside you will tell you all right, this is something will come to you that you didn't expect before.
Literally all the time. If I'm feeling like I have so much going on or whatever, I will stop and I'll talk to the Lord, and I'll say, you know what? calm me, comfort me, or center me, or, grant blessings or whatever, just, grant favor. And if I just pause and I talk to Jesus for just a few minutes, it's like, I can breathe again. So, any form of meditation, what's prayer or whatever anyone does,
it's all the
right.
same. Yeah.
Yep. You're right. When you just take a moment to whatever you need to do, breathe or be grateful or whatever it is, it just helps.
Well, and I love how you said it, you have the tools, because I think it's important that, if you don't have those tools, and the tools can look different for everybody, go get them, because it is like, if it is like 100%, everyone like, if I can just sit down, shut my mind off, say a prayer, go forward. Like, I didn't know how to do that just 5 years ago. Even 3 years ago, I didn't know how to do that. And even meditating, I've brought into my life, like over the last 6 months, it's really hard for me.
It's really hard for me too.
I try to do it every morning when I wake up, and then I start to fall back asleep when I meditate. So I'm like,
I'll be like in the middle of a thought process, and I'll be like, squirrel.
Squirrels are everywhere. Okay, so I actually really want to talk about your dogs too, because part of your questionnaire, we asked you what gets you through the day. And one of the things that you said was your 2 very loud screaming dogs who miss me, and a baby who is always excited to see me. And I think that there's nothing better than like the way a dog gets excited when you get
every
home.
time you come
Nobody
home.
ever
never
loves me as much as my dog.
I know. They never look at you and like,
love. They will always
cool.
love you no matter what. I mean, my husband's just like, he's just like, I don't even get it. They will literally sit. Well, one of them will sit on the dining room table, just looking out the window, waiting for my car to pull in the driveway. If I go away, like he's sitting on the couch, just staring, waiting. It's like, and then finally he'll give up after a couple of days and go sit with my husband. But like, he won't let anybody else pet him. Like, he's very attached to me. I don't know if it's because we got him during COVID and like we were working at home and everything. And, I don't know what it is, but that's definitely something. It's like, no matter what conversation I was just in, or who I was yelling at in the phone, in the car, in the driveway before I came in the house, that when I walk in the house, at least I smile, because it's like, hello, everyone. And everyone's jumping up and down and screaming and happy.
And your daughter's at that age too, where I just love that baby age where they're smiling when you're getting home, and they she's 13 months old, right?
16 now. Yeah. 16 months.
We filled the questionnaire out a while ago.
Oh yeah.
Over the summer. Yeah. Yeah.
It's not like my daughter who's 16. When I walk in the door, she's all, like not excited at all.
Flings her shoes on the floor, keeps walking by. Yeah.
So true.
You're at a fun stage right now. That's for sure.
That's true. Before the sass.
Yes.
I know.
So
she's already got sass.
Because you have this like crazy busy life, and now you have, a baby, you have one on the way. You've got a lot of moving parts in your life. For any moms that are listening that are in a similar situation, like what advice would you give to them?
Oh man, have a support group. I know everybody on your podcast says it, but don't be afraid to ask people for help. That's been one of my biggest challenges. And especially in my business, I am so used to being in control of everything and speaking to every client and being the relationship manager for them, and then making sure try to delegate and teach and give up control. And I'm speaking to myself right now. I'm going to listen to this later and listen to myself, but that's the only thing that's going to get me through, because on my maternity leave with my first child, it wasn't a maternity leave. It was just a maternity few hours. And then, hey, we have this closing. So, we blah, blah, blah. And there's just I know you had a baby 6 hours ago, but could you help me? Literally, and
no, leave me alone.
Yeah, didn't end. So, and it lasted, I think, all of 5 days. And then I was like,
so what are you going to do? What are you going to do to prepare yourself for this next baby?
That's kind of what my plan is. So now that I opened up an office this summer, I have an in-house negotiator. I have an assistant. I have more callers, and kind of transaction coordinators. I'm giving people more responsibilities and duties, teaching them more about how, I do things. And they may not be me. They may not know what I know. I've been doing this for 8 years. They're not going to know everything, but at least they could text me instead of me having to drag my laptop out and try to do everything from wherever I am and have them do it instead. And like, they'll know what to do when I say, hey, send this agreement, put this number in, blah, 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 make sure it does X, Y, Z and with this date, and that they know what to do with it. And then I don't have to, start doing things like that myself. And I would love for my goal to be that I get at least 2 weeks of uninterrupted baby time. 2 weeks. That's all I ask. I know people get 9 months, but like,
I want you to ask for longer.
For me, that was enough. I needed to get back out there.
Well, that's the other part of it. Yeah. I think after like a couple of weeks, I was like, all right, I'm good now. Like get me out of here. But then I had my office in the house and stuff. And, but newborns can't walk, but now she can, like, if I am trying to work from home, she's knocking on my door and screaming and crying when I have to close it to take a phone call, so it's a little different now, but now at least I'll be out of the house and that part of it, like the guilt. And that was another thing. Like I remember putting on the questionnaire was that I get business guilt and I get mom guilt at the same time, where it's like when you're not spending the time enough on your business and you feel like you have 80 things to take care of, and you want to do right by the clients and this and that, and like do as best as you can and get it done as quickly as possible and close it and do what has to be done. But you're, making dinner or whatever. And you're like, oh, my time could be better well spent by paying somebody to make this dinner. But you're like, at the same time, you want your child to remember you making them dinner, right? Or something. So that's
none of my kids will remember me making them dinner.
Right. Me neither. I was terrible. I had to like hire a cook to teach me how to like do things, or whatever. And like certain things I'll delegate, but I would like to be in my child's life and be around as much as I can. So
sure, of course.
But also teach her that she's got to be independent and do her own thing too.
Yeah. I love that you mentioned mom guilt and business guilt, because we talk about mom guilt all the time, and the business guilt, it is hard.
It's just as hard.
I think about, you're not at this point yet, but when the kids get into school, it's like half days all the time and extra time off school. And then all of a sudden they're asking you to volunteer and you feel like a piece of crap because all the moms are volunteering, and you're like, how can I just like spend all this time at school? Then they have off school, and you have this like, okay, I'm going to try to do that. But then when you're there, you're like, I should be at work right now. Like I need to be doing income producing activities. And then it's just this like big fight back and forth with both mom guilt and business guilt. It is a struggle.
I always tell the teachers, I always said, I'll give you money. I'm not going to go in there and give you time.
I don't even think my mom ever met my teachers. I'm like, what is going on with how many emails and how many times I need to be in there?
Moms, I hear like the horror stories. They're sending 10 emails a day. And I'm just like, if that were me, I would just ignore it.
No, it's not even just the emails. It's the group messages. It's the weekend nights with everybody. I mean, it's crazy. I'm like, holy moly.
No.
Anyways.
Well, it's because it's a cell phone thing, and we didn't have that growing up, like in the 90s,
that's
80s.
That's true.
Like, that's a good point.
That's true. That's the big difference.
And we'd have a take-home letter, like, oh, show this to your mom when you get home.
That's right.
My husband put me in check one day because I was getting so overwhelmed by all of it. And he's like, you are getting so worked up over stuff that does not matter. Just put it on mute and silent or whatever, and stop acting like you need to be a part of every single little thing. I have a problem with FOMO. And so even if I didn't want to do it, I was like, well, they're all doing it, so I need to do it. And I'm like, okay, that's right. So really just like remembering it, like, don't try to be a part of every little thing.
That will make you insane.
Yeah. Yeah. No,
that's rapid fire question.
Let's do. Okay. So we like to end this. We started doing rapid fire questions, which if you've been listening, you don't even know what we're talking about, because we just started doing this with Marissa last time. So we're going to start the sentence. You're going to finish it. And whatever comes to your mind the quickest, just spit it out. All right.
Okay.
All right. So my strength comes from
my inner soul.
All right. My inner soul. When I feel weak, I
take a deep breath and ask somebody for help.
Nice.
Love that. All right. And balance is
bullshit. I think that's
all right. We love that answer.
You have been listening to us.
There's no such thing.
Eva, you've been awesome. I'm so glad that we got connected and got to hear your story on here. And we can't wait for you to have another baby.
Thank you.
Awesome.
Yes, congratulations. Thank you for being a guest.
Thanks,
and if
guys.
anyone is out there listening and you want to be on Moms in Real Estate, do like Eva did. She
reached out,
you guys. We want to hear from you. We have moms from all over the United States that listen, that are on the show. And we are, just a big community of crazy moms.
Yes, we are.
In real estate.
And don't forget, ladies, look at theflourishevent.com. We have 2 amazing women's seminars a year. And if you just keep track of that website, you'll know when they are. They're generally April-ish and November-ish. And we'd love to see you. It's a wonderful experience.
All right. Bye.
Bye. Thank you.